All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. I got my co-host Robert in.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, we're arguing over here over YouTube. We don't even know
arguing. We're debating.
We're cancel culturing each other. Yeah, truthfully, we can't even come up with a title, but we're not arguing. I shouldn't have said that to that level, but we definitely have different opinions when it comes to YouTube and the algorithms and really what you're getting out of it, in my opinion. Because
So basically, how truthful
yes,
or factual are the algorithms that YouTube provides?
I've said this earlier, I'm going to say it now. I have a YouTube page. Obviously, you may be even listening to this on this page. And I'm not here to, bite the hand that feeds you or whatever. I like YouTube. I love the exposure it has offered me. On the other side of things, I don't understand it whatsoever. So I'll just give you, for example, I have well over 1,000 videos. I'm probably, if you include my podcast now, we're at 1,100. I have over 1,000 subscribers, which 1,100. Believe me, that's no big deal in the grand scheme of things. But what I find interesting is a majority of my views come from one video, actually, and then maybe a second. But I have one video I did out of a fluke at the Mall of America. I'm probably climbing up on, 35,000. I don't even know how many. It's massive. It's probably 90-something% of my views. The next one is an old COVID LA Fitness video I did. Now, here's the deal. I've done other malls videos, nothing close. I've done well over 100 or hundreds of LA Fitness videos, a lot even including COVID. But I find it interesting after doing this well over 2 years that my only two videos, for the most part, being viewed on a high level or high scale are those two. I have a lot of other videos that actually blow that away, more informative, bigger malls. And I'm kind of exhausted from everybody and researching this telling me, you don't understand. It's your tag, your words, it's your photo. It's your subject matter. It's all this shit. I'm literally the king of experimenting. So in 2 years, if I'm putting well over 1,000 different style videos, I should definitely have more than just one video getting that amount and the rest being so minimal. Especially if some that are very close to the one that's doing very well. So I did a Galleria in Dallas mall tour. My biggest one, which because my Mall of America was doing so well, I did in Edmonton, West Edmonton Mall, which is massive, even bigger. So
you got 36,000 views in Mall of America and only 1,700 in the Canada one, Edmonton.
That makes no sense.
Right? And then you got 12,000 views with your LA Fitness rules during the pandemic. That was your second biggest video.
And I did probably 7 or 8 of them. Very similar titles, very similar.
And that was the only one that really took off.
That's the only one that took off.
Yeah.
And then from there it plummets.
So going back to our conversation and what we're debating here is, you got all these people on YouTube teaching you about YouTube, but yet they don't have a product or a channel that specializes on a product or on a different service besides the one they're talking about, which is about how to use YouTube.
Absolutely. And YouTube seems to be pushing the hell out of those, right? Because it's about their product.
So here we go.
Right.
You're saying that YouTube pushes out certain videos, right? That's your theory.
100%. They're pushing out what they want you to see, not necessarily maybe what others want to see. You don't know what you're missing either.
Right, but my point is that they don't push out a video until they don't test it, right? And it's out there and it's getting views, then they pick it and push it. But until they don't see which video is actually getting the views, they don't just pick one and say, let's push this one. That's my point.
I think they might. There's hundreds of videos on Mall of America.
I mean, you got places teaching you, okay, the title, the thumbnail, the tags, the hashtags. But I don't think any of that, I mean, it helps put it in front of certain people. But the more people watch it, then they pick up. So let's say you put a video, and within the first, let's say their system, and I'm not saying I'm right on this. I'm just saying my opinion is they take 48 hours and say, okay, this guy just put this video about whatever, right?
Yeah.
This topic. And within 48 hours, it got viewed X amount of times. That's enough for us to say that this video could use our help. Let's push it and make it viral. Or let's just push it and make the advertisers money. Like, let's make the owner of the channel some money and ourselves money as a company, right? So they're not going to wait. You're not going to upload a video and they're going to say, well, you know what? I like the hashtag. I like what he did. Let's take it and run with it. I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the way it works, in my opinion. I think they do test it. They run it for a little bit. They put it through a whatever system, and then they say, oh, wait a minute. This video got X amount of videos within the first 24 hours, the first 48 hours. Let's take it and now run with it. That's the way I see it.
I have other videos.
I might be wrong.
Well, I have other videos too. Like a lot of them say they hit and they get 300 in the first week, and then they just disappear.
Well, maybe that wasn't enough for YouTube to say this
Who knows?
is a good video. I don't
Who
know.
knows? Then I have other videos that progressively do okay. But here's the thing. My identity, if you go to Google or on YouTube, really isn't a mall guy, even though I travel. If you were going to push videos for me to even help them make more money or get more views, you're kind of pushing me in a direction that I'm not, or exposing my video more and more to a certain degree. I'm not saying I don't go to malls, but I'm saying if you look at my tags, my Google, my entire...
But I don't think it's about you and your channel. I think it was a video that people, honestly, maybe from other countries, were traveling, and they said, you know what, I want to see what the biggest mall looks like. And they were searching for it. So it was just a video that people were searching. It's not about you, your channel, and what you've done previously or after that video. That video just happened to be searched, not because YouTube said, let's put it out. It's because people were searching for that information. And then now YouTube says, wait a minute, this video is working. It's got what we need. Let's help them. That's the way I see it.
I see your point with that. But then again, I'm always comparing. If I did West Edmonton Mall, almost same title, same style video. I'm not saying they're going to be exact. They're completely way off.
Well,
the tags are even almost identical.
Yeah, number one, they're in a different country.
Which actually, for a Canada perspective, should have been actually pretty
but
decent.
How many people really travel more to Canada than they do to the U.S.?
Well, let's put it this way. One has 1,000 and one has 37,000. That's pretty extreme to be that far off.
Well, then that goes to show you that maybe because the mall was actually in the U.S., let's reverse the names. Let's say the mall in the Mall of Canada versus the Edmonton Mall in the U.S. Right?
Okay.
So it's a name not so familiar with the name of the country, United States of America, American Mall. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Edmonton Mall in the U.S. was the biggest, largest mall ever, and people knew about it. They traveled into the U.S. The fact that it's in the U.S. and people are traveling to the U.S. and want to probably visit the mall, it probably would have had the same amount of views than what's going on now with your actual videos. Reversed.
Let's throw out that video, all right? And let's throw out the other LA Fitness video to COVID. So my next one's going to be like a tour in Neiman Marcus. That makes sense because I worked at Neiman Marcus. There's not a lot of videos of Neiman Marcus inside their stores because they don't have the balls to do it, and you're not actually supposed to do it to a certain degree. I went in Beverly Hills. I used to go there all the time. I love parking there. I love hanging out there. I like whatever. I used to hang out there. So I just went in and did a video. That does decent. My next popular video is me for like a couple minutes just walking around Oceanside, California, very quickly. I have hundreds of those types of videos all over California, everywhere. Even my little Italy tours, right, all over. I show you what each Italy looks like in different cities, states. Blows away the Oceanside one. Views. Really, Oceanside is one of my first videos, was me just talking in the camera for a couple minutes. Then after those, barely anything. Again, there are thousands upon thousands of videos in Oceanside, California. There's not thousands of other videos that I did in other places that I think that are just as popular. Better shots, longer, better thumbnails. How does that work out? It doesn't kind of make sense to me to a certain degree. Now, Oceanside's Oceanside. I've even Rodeo Drive. I can't even tell you how many places I've done. I don't have to get in everywhere, but it's interesting that those aren't getting any views.
So let me ask you something. You're in, we're in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it now with the pandemic and traveling, but have you tried to do any videos here, of the parks, maybe the beaches, for those that are traveling to Florida?
I've done a bunch in all the beach towns.
How many visitors
I've done all the best
here?
Italian restaurants. I've done the beaches. I've done their downtowns. I did even, it's crazy. I was one of the first guys to put a video up, Universal Studios, like the day it opened through the pandemic. So I went that week. I don't know if I was the exact day. Posted that. That started off okay with a few hundred, 400 or 500, and then just disappeared. And I'm looking at other people's videos. I'm not comparing mine. I went through the park. I even went through City Walk. Did I go through both parks? I know the parks pretty well. I've lived here my whole life.
Right.
How did that just kind of start off very well and just kind of plummet? And still, an LA Fitness from before 6 months ago is beating that out. Now, again, maybe there's not, but there's a ton of LA Fitness people talking about COVID. I don't get it.
You're right. With this topic, there's no win. There's not a winner because we don't know the truth.
That's the thing. I don't think. Here's the deal. If I'm YouTube, hypothetically, give me an outline a little bit. We don't know shit. We know things from. Here's the thing. Back to people describing how to get more views on YouTube, more subscribers, more likes, all that. If I watch 10 different guys, either they're regurgitating what other people are telling them on YouTube, or it's different than what they're saying. Because it really always comes down to, you got to shoot a great video, have good audio, good thumbnail, the same shit we already know.
Right. But is that really pushing your videos?
Right. Or
it makes a great video, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But is it really, I think the number one thing is the content. Number one, because if I'm not learning anything, but then again, if it's a shitty audio and I can't listen to what he's saying, then it doesn't make for the standard, it doesn't make a good video.
Well, here's the thing about YouTube.
Yes, there is a combination of stuff.
Here's something that's very interesting. A lot of guys will be like, do something nobody else is doing, right? We hear that all the time. Mm-hmm. Well, if you do that, a lot of times there's no interest in that. Or you don't know. So let's say, on the other hand,
or it might go viral.
Exactly. But how do I know, again, which I don't know either. Say I did a video, if someone said, on palm trees. Just go out and shoot palm trees. And then you go out and shoot palm trees, you don't get a lot of views, right? Then they're like, why are you doing palm trees? Who the hell wants to look at a palm tree? Then you're like, oh, go do Universal Studios because there's millions of people interested in it. Then you go do that. Guess what? There's millions of videos on that. So now you're competing against that area being saturated. Yeah. So I'm not here to rip on anybody. But if I'm YouTube or anybody, let's say, I'm not saying everything has to be strategic. There's no true outline to say, hey, and again, everybody puts up their own material. We don't have enough knowledge. That's the whole point of this.
And that's why I think that to a certain point, YouTube doesn't even have that knowledge. They just take the videos, they put it out there, and they test it for the first 24 hours. It's like an A/B split test. Let's put these two videos.
How do we know that?
We don't.
We don't know anything. No, that's my point. You're speculating what you think they do.
Right, I'm speculating.
Because that's what you think they do.
Right.
I think they do whatever they can make the most money on.
But that's the way they do. I think, again, they put the two videos out and say, okay, let's give it a try. Let's give it a run for the first 12 hours. And then one just takes off just a little bit, enough to create that interest. They were like, I think this is the one. Let's take it and run with it.
That's what you think. I don't know what their whole, what their thing is. And we were talking about Rogan, what he goes through,
what
I'm going through.
Look at his stuff.
If you talk to a lot of people, what are they blocking? What are they not blocking? I may say one word, and they may block my entire video. How do I know that? How do I know they're not, really am I wasting my time on YouTube a lot of times? Maybe I'm too direct. Maybe I don't talk enough about politics. Maybe I don't talk about them at all, but I'm just saying maybe that's what they're looking for during this time and period, even though they're, like that may be something they're looking for. I don't offer it. Just saying.
Yeah, you never know.
We don't.
I had a friend, he put a video several years ago in, I think it was the Cancun, Dominican Republic. I think it was the Dominican Republic.
Right.
He stepped out of the resort area on a moped. Well, long story short, he goes into town, goes to an ATM, pull out some cash. Police officers come up to him, make sure he's okay. So he thought, and they were just bribing him. They wanted money.
Sure.
Right? And that video got on the news.
Yep.
Right? On the local news and then news here, and then it went viral. His video went viral.
Sure. And that's a one-hit wonder a lot of times,
right.
too. That doesn't even mean you're going to make money on it necessarily.
No, he did. He made money.
And, okay. I was going to say, well, God bless.
Point.
And then what do you follow up with it? That could be,
right. And then,
me and you could do something
you do
like
another
that.
100 videos, and it just, sits there.
Again, I'm not looking for YouTube to discover me. Let's not pull bullshit here.
Did you watch the video of the guy talking about the Joe Rogan situation with YouTube?
The one I sent you?
Yeah.
Yes, that was my whole point.
Yeah, you were the one. Okay, so he's talking about his own videos, how frustrating it is for him that he could say one word that YouTube doesn't like.
Yes.
And they'll just demonetize your video.
Exactly. Maybe they. And here's the thing.
And maybe they don't want to pay. Maybe it's a good video, but they don't want to pay you, and they hold on to anything they can to keep more of the profit. I don't know.
I say YouTube doesn't like me, right? I could be wasting my time in years. They may not like my content, my attitude. What the hell? None of us truly know. This is almost like a magic trick, and we all think we know the answers to it, and we really don't. And I've been discussing this with you too. I use it as a hobby for the most part. I truly don't know anybody that is making, personally, of course we see people on YouTube. It's like actors, like I was telling you before, and musicians. You know all these guys making millions of dollars. Who do we personally know that has succeeded in making a YouTube channel or podcast? I don't know any. They usually start off. After a certain amount of time, they peter out. They quit. It never leads to where they thought it was going to.
Yeah, I don't know the truth of the ones that say that they are YouTubers and they're doing well. I think they're doing well enough to not get a job. It pays the bills, but they're not doing millions. I mean, there's few on the top making millions, right?
I think there's few making money in general if you base out your time and effort and everything else.
I mean, if they're making anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, I mean,
that's great.
Yeah, but they figure out, well, if I go to work and
sure.
I'm probably making the same or close to the same. Or, I'd rather do YouTube, be my own boss, and have fun doing it than, following my career or doing a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That might be more common than the ones doing millions. I don't know.
I'm not here to make millions. I'm not here to make $1 necessarily. I didn't create it for that. But I will say after doing thousands of videos, I see so many inconsistencies that just, in my opinion, don't make sense. That's all I'm saying. Certain videos are doing extremely well. Other ones that are better or even very similar, you would think they'd even be close. They're off. I mean, it's unbelievable how far off they are.
Yeah, the discrepancy is too far apart. That doesn't make sense. It's mind-boggling.
Because I see a lot of dudes that do YouTube, that say they put up a video and they get 50, right? Or they consistently, or at the beginning, or 100 or 1,000, whatever. They kind of stay consistent. Mine are extreme. I don't know how, especially when, back to the LA Fitness COVID thing, I did like 8 of them, almost exact. Tagged them exact. Very similar numbers. They were just updates. So month to month, it's an update. How can one of them
just take off?
Not only that, it's old. Why are people watching an old video on that instead of being updated? You would think YouTube would be updating that more or less because that's what people, I would think. I don't want to know the COVID rules in LA Fitness 7 months ago. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Things have changed.
Things change all the time. Anyways, we could boohoo fest. Wow. Who gives a shit? Hey, we're on the platform. You don't like it? Like I say, get the F off. right? You don't like it? Get out. I'm just confused with it myself, but believe me, I like the opportunity of, it's a lot easier than Vimeo in the old days. And I used to do videos, and it wasn't simple to get a video, then get it on your website, and then get people to download it. That was a hassle. So listen, YouTube, no reason to get all nuts here. But you are very confusing. This is like a relationship that we don't really know where we're at right now. All right, that's all I got for you guys. What else, Robert?
That's it until the next one.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll bitch later about something else.
Yeah.
All right, take care.